To complete the hot glue stand, you'll need hot glue as well as 10 half-inch magnets. These were purchased at Walmart. Here's a look at all the parts that'll be used in the build. They've all been pre-cut and are notched, ready to assemble. Here we'll start with the drawer and apply a bead of glue to the base and then add the sides, doing both sides and then both ends. You can also run a gusset just to reinforce the seams. Now you can sand the box and it's ready to paint. Here's a look at the box with glue sticks placed in it before painting. These parts here will make up the top portion of the glue stand. Then place a bead of glue, put it on the sides. Here both sides have been put in place. Next we will put on the first dowel and then the second dowel, and now we glue in the end. For the rack, first you'll need to bevel the edges of the front rack like you see here. Notice there is a top and a bottom. This is before the bevel. Now this is it after the bevel. And once the bevels are done, then you can put the rack in place. So far I've glued the box together all with nothing but hot glue, and I'm using the high setting on the glue, and this is an Adtech 2-temp gun, and it's from, this happens to be from Walmart. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the front rack on, and the thing with the way this is designed, you notice there's some holes right here will be on the inside or the back side. In other words, this goes in position like that. So these holes are actually on the underside, and this is the top side. So what I'm going to do is dry fit first and make sure that the part goes in, and that looks pretty good. So now I'm ready to glue it, and with the glue gun set on high, I'm going to fill the cavities. Well, not fill them, but I'm going to put glue in the cavities, and I'm also going to put some glue down here, a little bit here and there like this. And now I want to put this all together, actually pretty quick, and slide it in place. Just like that, and then I want to hold it. Try to hold it square. And now I'm going to go back and fill in on the bottom side. I'm basically going to pump some glue in these holes. And again, this is on the high setting. And I'm going to let that cool for just a moment or two, and with a wet finger thin the glue and actually push it. So now I've glued that from the inside, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but the glue's about half through the edge here, so I did push the glue down. So now what I'm going to do, and this is the main reason for building this stand, is I'm going to create a gusset here. Again, always with a wet finger. I'm going to wipe the excess. Now once I'm done, I'll clean off any of this that I don't like before I paint it. And to clean it off, I just use a flat ruler, just like that. So now I'll put a gusset on this side, again with a wet finger, I'll push it down. Now you could use epoxy to put this together. The first one, the initial one, I did put together with epoxy, but then I thought, well shoot, we got a glue gun. Why not just use the hot glue? So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing this one with the hot glue. And it seems to be pretty good. So now, the next thing is the back. And these pieces, there's 3 pieces that make up the back. And again, you have the holes. And on this side, you do not see the holes. So that means that this is actually the outside. This would be the inside. So this piece goes on there like that. And then you have these pieces here. You have the pockets. So this goes on with the curve facing forward. So that means this piece here goes in here like this. And then this piece here is going to go on top of it like that. And that's going to make up the back foot. These 2 notches here will go down and plug into these pieces here. So, and that would be the finish. So now to glue this up, again, I'm going to take it back apart. I'm going to put a little glue on the inside here. A little glue on the inside. Then I can go ahead and put this rack together. So I'll put that like that, put this like this, then I'll go ahead and just set this in place, and then that way I can let that glue dry, and then I'll slip it back out and put the bottom, glue the bottom in, and this will be done. Okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and glue this up because this is all cured up. So I'm just going to put a little gusset on the sides, or in the corners here. And then again with a wet finger, I'll wipe them out to create gussets in the corners. And now I'm ready to glue this in position here. And to do that, just going to put a little glue here, a little glue here. And a little glue across the bottom. Set it in there and push it down. I'll create a gusset in the corners here. Again, that wire, I hate that wire. Okay, and last time with the wet finger, wipe out the gussets. And then you can clean off any residual glue. And now you can either leave the foot up, or you can put the foot down so that it's out of the way, or what I'm going to do with mine is take my foot off. I'll never have to worry about that wire again. But anyway, that is the top portion and the glue rack, and then the drawer. With the drawer, it's going to go in like that. Now, what's going to hold this drawer in place is magnets. And then one last thing that goes on the drawer, that this piece of wood gets glued to the back, and you can glue it up about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. So I'm just going to put a bead of glue on it and then turn it over, and guess it. because it really doesn't matter exactly where it goes. We try to get it even from both ends, and then we push that down and make sure we're down, and then we can put a little gusset on the back side as well as the front side. Again, with a wet finger we'll wipe it out. And now whenever this dries, I'll go over this with some sandpaper, because now I have a catch. I'll be able to grab a hold of the bottom of the drawer, just lift it up, pull it out, access my glue. Sticks. And now I'll put it on the magnets. First, you take off the magnets. All these are going to line up just like you see here, so we're going to take this one and put it right here, and then we'll take this one and keep it in line and put it right here. Okay, so we have those two magnets, and I'll press those in place. Right now, just set them in the hole, and then we'll put the magnets in here. So we're going to take one and put it right there, and then the last one we're going to put it right here. So now I have magnets inside, and then we have another one that's going to go in the bottom here, which is going to be right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th magnet is going to sit right on top here, like that. And this will be your glue catch. So if you have a drip, I'll make it drip here. You can see the drip is going to land on the magnet, and of course the magnet will help cool the glue, and it'll continue to stick to itself. So if I do that again we'll make another drip. So again, it's sticking to the glue that was already down there, and it's sticking to the magnet. So once this cools, then you can take the magnet off and pull the glue off of it and throw the magnet back, and you don't wind up with a big mess on your board. But this glue in here doesn't really drip if you don't have it on high. And of course, working with the foam, we wouldn't have it on high. Here I'm going to show you the beauty of putting this together with the hot glue. If you're using hot glue and you find out that after you got it all done, looks like your stand's a little crooked, or maybe the mount's a little crooked, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. But if, let's say, it's way off, first you want to remove your magnet, because you can actually lose some power in a magnet if you heat it up. So don't ever heat your magnets if you want them to be magnets. But what I'm doing is I'm actually heating the glue joints on this front. You can see it's cocked to the left a little bit, but by heating up all the surfaces with the heat gun, I can actually tweak this, and you can see that I'm actually able to move the whole thing even after it was glued together. So what I can do now is kind of hold this where I want it, and I'll just put the glue gun back in here, and that looks about right. So now I'll put cool air on it to help cool it down. So now you can see that's a little straighter than it was. This is the finished glue gun rack. Now, an overview of this real quick. Glue all the joints. I did it with epoxy on the first one, but this one I just glued it with hot glue. All the seams are just fine. What I'll do now is give this a good sanding and then paint it. But a couple of things with regards to the magnets. I double stacked the magnets here as well as the magnets here. In other words, there's 2 magnets here, 2 magnets here, 2 here, and 2 here. There's 1 here, and also my rack, the wire rack, I'll stick it right there. It'll stay there, and that way if I ever need the rack, I know where it's at. Also, I glued on this cleat here. That's the drawer pull. You can get fancy and put a pull on it if you want. I also just glued the dowels in place, but there is a provision here or a hole you can run a screw in there if you'd like. I probably will, just because this is going to get a lot of use. The other thing with regards to a magnet, you'll throw a second magnet on top, and if you find that this doesn't catch all of your glue, then you can actually put a piece of wood on top of this, and that way you can put it in place and slide it off if you want to clean it. So, but this is an overview of the hot glue stain. One other thing about those magnets, if you double them up, it's actually pretty powerful in that you can see it took a little bit to shake that out of there. So for the most part, I mean, you can carry this around. It's not going to, the drawer's not going to fall open.